another episode of Reactivity on the Road. I am your host, your dog trainer, your everything involved with this series. Claire Lawrence. I run High Peak Dog Services, and I'm here to bring you another exciting episode of how you can get out and about more with your reactive dog. Because if you haven't guessed already, the reason I'm doing this is because I too fell into this trap of isolation. I fell into this trap of this mindset of that I can't do this and I can't go there, and he's not ready for this and they're not ready for that. And what I found was my world slowly decreased in size. Yes, I was preventing him from reacting. Yes, I was keeping everything safe, sound and comfortable. But no, I was not progressing. And no, I was not resolving the reactivity, because it's easy to hide away. It's easy to say, well, I'll get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's easier, and I'll walk my dog then, or I'll stick to the same route. It's easy to do that. And I just want to stress there is nothing wrong with doing that. If you're happy in that space, continue. If you have a dog who's happier and safer, or the general public is safer when your dog is in that space, please continue. I have one of those dogs. I have a dog who is a lifelong management case. I have a dog that will do some serious damage if another dog comes over to him. And for us, that is our lifestyle. But when it comes to other dogs, I think sometimes we can add a restriction where we're not progressing them, and I think that place becomes comfortable, and then what starts to happen is we don't really trust the training we've been doing. But what we also tell ourselves is a load of crap in how we can't do this and we can't do that. So I wanted to share this with you today, because this wasn't actually on the schedule. The last episode said I was going to take you to a country park cafe. I will still do that, but I messed my schedule up and I actually went to the city. And so today's episode is going to show you how you can successfully start introducing your dogs to more distractions by going to the city, doing some exposure sessions, and making sure that you're as successful as possible. You know, we're going to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit with this week's episode, and hopefully it will inspire you to go, you know what, I'm going to go and try that, and I'm going to go and see how it goes, and we're going to go and work hard and get my dog used to exposure in different settings. So I don't think I really have much to say about this. If you've watched my previous episodes, you'll know I speak about exercising beforehand. You'll know that I speak about equipment and tools that you can use in terms of helping you on a safety element. By tools, I mean leads, I mean harnesses, I mean head collars, I mean muzzles. I don't mean electric collars, and I don't mean prong collars or half choke collars. I don't mean those sort of tools. The tools I use are what I've just mentioned there. So let's go and dive in. Let's go and have a look at how we went about going to the city of Sheffield. So we start our city trip with a nice steady walk into the town centre and a little bit of humour, because Hunter's never experienced a sliding door before, and behind that sliding door a whole load of food, so that was quite comical. But we just potter on in. You'll notice here I'm not asking anything of him in terms of heel work, in terms of attention and focus. We do start to get that offered to us naturally, but I'm not asking for it. You can sniff, you can pee on stuff. These boy dogs like to pee on things, and we just potter on in towards the city. Now, it's worth noting that I'm hitting this on a Sunday morning about 8 a.m, so I know again that it's going to be quiet. If it's your first trip to the city with your reactive, anxious dog, set yourself up for success. Make sure that it's going to be easy enough for them, and then you can start to work on your fancier stuff, your obedience, your focus, your attention. And that's exactly what we're doing here now. So I've let him potter on in, sniff, pee on stuff. Obviously, if there is a distraction or a dog coming, I'm going to intervene, I'm going to get his attention, and we're going to turn and move. But for the most part, the more you let your dog sniff and explore the new area, the more at ease that it can put them. And then you can section yourself little parts on your trips or your outings to do some focus work, some obedience. As you can see here, he's actually quite distracted. This is the first time that he's
been to a city. Gosh, I used to take him when he was a puppy, but we're talking years. So I expected it to be tough for him, and you can see just within this short little obedience session how much I'm helping him out and that I'm keeping things as simple as I possibly can for him. Now, when you're moving through the city, especially at these sorts of times, early morning, before the shops have open, after a Saturday night where probably a lot of people are still going to be in bed, you can almost get the town centre to yourself. I think we only saw 3 dogs on this encounter, and they were all pottering on their way, and it wasn't that busy at all. I wouldn't take a starter dog to a city environment when it's heaving. As you can see, there's the odd person about. Now he's more connected and focused, but then we start to use our environment as little games to play. So this is a really simple game. Jump up on something when you're asked. Let's slide down. Good boy. Let's get some treats out. Let's do some confidence boosting exercises. We use parkour is its proper name, if you like, but we just get creative within our environment, and we work on more focus and connection within this setting. Once we've done a little bit of this and we've got some connection focus, then we'll just move back on to Mooching and his time. This dog particularly is a very sniffy dog. He's an entire male. He likes to let his presence be known that he's been there. And I just revert back to, you can do what you want, mate, mooch, but look at what I get. I get nice loose lead walking. I capture those nice responses. Whenever he's walking next to me like that and he looks up, he's going to get rewarded for it. We've built it up so that he can walk next to me for a decent amount of time, but look at his little face. He's like, oh, I did good, there's a treat coming. So just by allowing, and I think the main lesson for today is, by allowing that free time for your reactive dog on your way into a new environment, whether they're doing it because they're overexcited, because they're anxious, because they're worried, it really allows the dog to then feel comfortable and then be able to work for you a lot better, because you've allowed that time for them to explore and be a dog. We spent about half an hour in the city just mooching up and down, did our little bit of training, and then we headed on back to the car park. On the way back there, again, you can see just nice chilled out lead walking. We did actually have to throw in a leave it on this next part coming up because somebody had thrown some food under there. Expect that on a city trip, especially after a Saturday night out. People's takeaways and stuff will be on the floor, I'm sure. But you can see that we're just mooching on back, and we had a really good time in the city for our first exposure session in a long time. After a comment I received about fixing reactivity, I wanted to stress that training alone won't just do that. What we're doing here is we're doing exposure sessions, and we're counter conditioning and desensitizing the dog to these new environments and helping them to be successful without reacting.